morning. Welcome to Sacred Heads-Up. I'm Stacy. I'm freezing today. It is so cold here in Florida. I'm covered up with a blanket. Boy, I have the weirdest, I don't even know, video to share today about some things that's just happened to me in a couple of days, and some stuff that's come down to me as I've been working through more and more of these methods that you do for your body deprogramming, because I'm still doing the methods myself, because I learn them every week when I have a class. And so this is why I've been waiting till after the first of the year to bring them all so we can start them, because I have to master them myself, and I don't want to bring them to anybody in the wrong format. So I had my class yesterday, and I was talking to my teacher, and we started recording our conversations because we have really good conversations. But the one thing that I recognized about him when I first met him was that he's from the same collective as me. I can tell. I pick up on it instantly. Like, now I see people and I can tell if they're from my collective. And I just jokingly call it the bird collective. And, you know, I've made comments about the bird nose and stuff, that I got the bird nose. I mean, my one brother, he looked like Adam Sandler with brown hair, light brown hair. He really did. And he acted like him too. But we got into this conversation about birds, because I'm like, I recognized my teacher right off the bat. When I first seen him, I knew he was a bird from the bird collective. And we were talking about birds, because I ask a lot of questions on stuff I don't understand, because just like when I was asking him questions about the stuff about dragons, because I know a lot of people work with dragons, and that's good that you're working with the dragons, because that's what you need to do. You have to help bring the vibration up of the mother dragon, because when she was separated from her counterpart, her lion counterpart, this is how we just had the genetic things happening. It didn't have anything to do with like committing sin. It was just genetics, interbreeding with genetics. And, maybe some stuff was not done with the wrong intentions. See, this is what I think that we kind of get hung up on, is that we, it's our nature to want to try to figure out everything that happened, and then we want to say this person was at fault and this person is at fault. And that's one of the things that I've really noticed at studying the teachings of Ashiana Dean, is that, she lets you know all of the bad groups, and how this one did this and this one did that. But the bottom line, when you get to a more spiritual aspect of it, you have to realize that we can't even exist here in this material realm if we don't have that darkness, right? Because this is what we fell from the top down to the bottom. This was our intent, was to come all the way down here to have this experience, and then to wake up and to go back up. See, this is what we're supposed to be doing now. And then there's an ascension cycle that's every so many thousands of years apart. After you go through each one of these cycles, you go from being good to falling away to waking up, to going back to falling away, to waking up. It's a cycle, and it goes around and round and round. And we're at the end of the cycle right now, where we're at the part where we're waking up and going into the age. And part of that age is waking the mother dragon from her sleep. Remember how the dragons in the fairy tales would be sleeping, and the guy would have to creep into the cave because she's protecting the treasure, right? The treasure comes with the mother. But, apart from that, I was telling him, about my experience seeing the bird being, the bird lady. And I'm like, there's something with these birds. And I have like a really strong affinity to birds. Like, if I go outside, I have birds everywhere out there. I have several birds that I call my totem birds. And one of them is a red-shouldered hawk, and the other one is a falcon. And they'll sit out here right outside my house, in my yard on the wire, and we will just have a staring match. We'll sit there for 10 minutes. I mean, it's crazy. I take videos of them all the time, because I tell my mom and my friends, sometimes I don't think they believe me. So I take videos of it so I can prove it. But when I was having my class yesterday, I said to my teacher, I said, the birds are back. The birds are back. It just kept coming to my head. The birds are back. And when I said that to him, his face he was like, oh my gosh, hold your hat. So he goes digging in his cabinet and he pulls out a book and he shows it to me, and it's called In Search of the Third Bird. And it's an essay that was done on this whole cache of writings that were found. And it has to do with this group of 3 birds. My watch just thumped me. My crystal just thumped my wrist. Oh my gosh, we're on the right track here. That there were these 3 birds, and I'm going to suggest that they were Horus, Ra, and Thoth, okay? And you know how we've talked about how Thoth came and taught the Merkaba teachings, but he fell? Okay. And then we had Horus, who was the son of Osiris and Isis, right? And so this interesting thing is that you kind of get these archetypes, right? You get 3 archetypes in these 3 birds, and the clues that they give you. It's a really elusive society in this 3rd bird group. And I started meditating about this morning, and so this is what I'm getting. Okay, so we have like the Holy Trinity with Jesus, right? And then we have the threes of everything. We have the threes of everything. Well, Horus, Ra, and Thoth are the 3 in 1, just like the Trinity. Okay, but the stories in this cache are kind of like allegories, like the Bible. And they talk about this painter painted this painting with a person on it holding some grapes. Okay, and the first bird comes up and just starts pecking at the grapes, trying to eat the grapes. And then the second bird does something kind of similar. And the third stands back and ponders the painting, ponders it. And so I think that what they're trying to say is that it's like the Holy Trinity. And if you're smart enough to understand what they're saying, then you can figure out how to get to the next level of their teachings. So this morning I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this because I was reading that book last night. And then I had went through this exercise with my teacher where I learned to initiate contact. And so I did it last night, after I got settled down. And, well, actually, you know what? I did it yesterday morning when I was in my class. And then yesterday afternoon, I had a terrible backache. I mean, severe. I thought like I hurt myself. I don't know what I've done. I can hardly walk today. So I don't know if, if something's healing, because, I have metal from like here all the way down. I don't know if something's happening in there because I had some kind of contact. I don't know. And that, you have a flare up before you get better. I don't know. But the other thing I noticed is that my allergies are not so bad today. Normally I'm sneezing and all kind of stuff, and I'm not. So, I mean, that's really interesting. I've had allergy problems my entire life. And normally I have went through like 40 tissues today. So the search of the third bird, could it actually be that these original creator beings are coming back, the bird beings? And this is why some of us are getting visited by these owl people and these bird people, because we're from this bird collective. We've been seeded here from this bird collective to help the planet ascend. That this is the collective that we potentially come from. These people that are like me, that live out in the country, and they're wildlife nuts, and they're animal lovers, and you love the birds, and you have birds at home. I mean, think about this. What animals do you have an affinity for? It might be your collective. I mean, people say that my dog looks like me now, which just I think is funny because I just love my animals. So I don't take that as an insult at all. But the third bird, could it be Horus? And they have the eye and all this stuff, the left eye, and all of this. So let's also talk about the eye, Because, you know, if you took an eye and you took the middle part out and you just blew it up, it looks like a stargate. It looks like a wormhole. It looks like a drawn out picture of the universe. You've got all of these things that look like matter and light and antimatter all swirling around. It makes all these wonderful effects. So what if the eye, the meaning of the eye, is just way more than just occult knowledge? Maybe your eyes are like the blueprint to the galaxy that you belong to. Maybe this is one of the reasons why they scan retinas. I mean, think about it. Think about it. It's just something to think about. I mean, I think about the weirdest shit. I know I do. But I just have all these thoughts in my mind all the time. My mind's always thinking. I'm just, you know what? I open my mind and then all these thoughts just start coming in. I don't know how it happens, but that's how it is. It's just like, I'm just getting that this whole thing, and is the bird people are coming back. They're coming back. And see, the interesting thing about that allegory is that it talks about contemplation and being able to focus on something creative, like a creative focus to build creativity, keep attention span. So, and you know, we are at that point where we are completely at the very last thread of having an attention span before we can completely forget everything. I mean, it's almost like it's intentional, purposeful, making you forget stuff. So all kind of new things can be introduced. And we have to reprogram our whole body by first deprogramming it and then reprogramming it the right way. Because this is what Ra, these gods, these original Egyptian gods, they symbolize the Merkaba. This is why these pyramids were here. These pyramids were here for the Merkaba. And I was studying another Melchizedek, and I'll have to write down his name. I'll put his name down in the comments after I get done, because I want to be able to, I want to spell it right for you guys. But he's a Melchizedek. He said that he was a walk-in 1972, and that he's a Melchizedek. And he said that the pyramids, well, no, not necessarily the pyramids. He said these megalithic structures that they cannot figure out how they were built here were actually constructed in the fourth dimension through manifestation from higher beings. And then they were brought down into this lower dimension. So kind of like the particle and antiparticles. But we had harmonic universe 4, harmonic universe 4 planet Tara fell. So we have to think about the particles and the antiparticles that fell with it. Because if something was built there, it would stay there, is the way that I understood it. But maybe that's not exactly right. So, or he said that they were brought into our reality. They were brought here. And which is possible because, you know, I just got another thump on my watch. Because we're living in a magnetic universe. It's all vibration frequencies and scalar grid. So, you know, anything is possible. This is 5D technology. So this is why they can't figure out how they were done, because, and that the pyramids were built from the top down to the bottom, that they did build the pyramids, and that there were 83,000 structures that were built on Earth after Atlantis fell to reconnect our grid. And guess what, folks? I had the hugest, my head just blew the freak off. These were the white cities, the star forts, the pyramids, the monasteries, all of these places that are built on ley lines, these white castles with all of this geomancy in them. These are to hold the grid in place so we could ascend. This is why these groups have been destroying and dismantling these places all over the planet, is because they're dismantling the grid. Oh my goodness. The birds are coming back, folks. They are coming back. All of these beings are coming back. These higher dimensional beings, if we just keep working on doing the stuff that we're doing and getting back to divine motherness, as long as we keep doing that and balancing and working on our shadow selves and incorporating all of that into ourselves and saying, hey, I accept you as part of me, right? You know, and let's move on here. We have to ascend all of our parts. We have to collect all of our parts. And this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. So we're just deprogramming and reprogramming. So what do you guys think about the third bird? Is that just not the strangest, most hidden thing ever? I'm still trying to figure out what this thing is about, truthfully. These are my theories that I got. And, you know, there are other Melchizedek teachers besides Ashiana. His name is, I call it Drunvalo, Drunvalo is how I think it's spelled. But I'll put the exact spelling. He's a Melchizedek. His name is Drunvalo Melchizedek. And he has teachings that are similar to Ashiana Dean's, but not quite. Now, Ashiana Dean, the way I understand it, is that her original teachings were a little bit different than her later teachings. And, you know, she took a lot of input from her spouse, who I'm not sure exactly his history with contact or how he got the information. I know that she said that she was schooled from Palladian beings from a very young age. But I'm not sure how her spouse, but, you know, they have amalgamated their ideas the way that I understand it in the second teaching. So maybe the reason that some of them are changed is because some of the teachings have also been inspired by her husband. So, this other Drunvalo Melchizedek, he has some different, his teaching, his perspective is different. So I like to get all of the perspectives, you know, because even my perspective is different. Even your perspective is different than mine. You know, this is why we all have perspectives, because we can bring all of these perspectives together and get back to a bicameral mind. This is what the bicameral mind was, is that everybody didn't have 100 million different perspectives. We were all divinely inspired, you know. And then everybody started thinking for them, having to think for themselves, and people didn't know how to think for themselves because we were connected to source. It was a real wake-up call, big experiment. So anyway, I'm going to end this video there, but I thought that was interesting. I thought it was really interesting about this Drunvalo Melchizedek guy, because he has a softer type teaching style, which I enjoy. He has a Native American spirit about him. When I look at him, I automatically think Native American. I see like either Mayan past lives with him. He comes from Mayan or Atlantis, or Native American. But there's something there in him. I see that. And I find his stuff pretty interesting. So check him out. Check him out. You know, we'll get more in depth on the schedule of how we're going to, what days of the week we are going to set up and start doing the deprogramming. I don't know if you guys want to do like one every week, one every couple weeks. So let me know what is going to be convenient for everybody that wants to follow along. If you think that once a week that we should do one of the activations every week, and then we'll just do the rest of the time other videos with chit chat or new discoveries, and or every couple weeks or just once a month. It's everybody's pace, or I can just record them all together and you can do them at your leisure. You know, I can just do one after the other. So with that, I'm going to end this video. It's been 19 minutes. It's starting to warm up, thank goodness. I might be able to unwrap out of this blanket today. So when you come and find me, I'll be here. We're living in the past, present, and the future, all at the same time. And so I welcome the bird people all to this channel. All birds welcome. Humans tolerated. Humans tolerated. So don't forget to get outside today and put your feet in the grass and give thanks to our Heavenly Father and Divine Mother, Mother Earth. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching Sacred Enzyme. Bye-bye.